Okay, now that I've verified that the auxiliary gauges wiring that's right here to the right of the HVAC plenum is not going to help me drawing CAN high and low for the Speedhut gauge, I think I'm good to go ahead and put the dash all back together. I've got the power, ground, and lighting wired in down there, so that can be covered up. And then the only thing left to do will be to hook up the wideband to the OBD2 connector and then get CAN high and low for the Speedhut gauge off of that same connector somehow. I'll have to just figure that out later, but don't forget to connect the hazard light switch. Six screws to go in. Alright, here's the issue I think I'm having. It won't go down in the front, and I think it's because the bottoms of those two pods are hitting those things, because there does seem to be, see that little rub mark right there? It's rubbing on the bottom of those, so I'm just going to trim that back away from there and see if these will snap in place at that point. Alright, I don't know if that's going to be enough, but that's what I'm going to do until this thing fits. But I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So let's see how it goes now. Alright, doesn't really look very good, honestly. But that was the wideband I wanted to go with, so, you know, so be it. But everything's wired up except for the CAN high and low for the gauge, so the gauge isn't actually going to work if I start the engine, but we've got lighting for the gauge itself, and then I don't know what happens when I just turn the key on, but I know I get sensor. Oh, there we go, we got something. It's at least powered up. So yeah, it's wired up to that point. All I have to do is install the actual sensor for the wideband, plug it in, plug it into the OBD2 sensor because it's got to pass through, where is it? It's hanging down here somewhere. It's got to pass through OBD2 connector, so that'll take care of the wideband. Plug the sensor into it and it'll quit saying sense. Alright, thank you. Yeah, I guess that's just... Oh, that must be a warning light because it's saying it has 0 oil pressure. That's pretty cool. So anyway, sensor, SENS, means the sensor's unplugged, I'm assuming. So I need to go ahead and get the actual sensor itself screwed into the header and then see what happens then. interior needs cleaned bad. Alrighty. Now I just gotta finish up down here, tuck these wires up, and put this panel back on, and that should be it for the interior. Alright, I think this is gonna work. So to wire into this OBD2 connector, we need can high and can low. So for the Speedhut gauges, the gray wire is can high and the black wire is can low. Can high on the OBD2 connector is pin 6 and can low is pin 14. And I will link the instructions to this gauge in the description. And so what you can do is take these blue things out of here, and it kind of opens up the side of the thing so that you can basically you jam the wire down there into it. Now I don't know if you can see that. Barely peeking through the black there, you can see the wire on the left hand side, and then above it it says 14. So I've got the black one jammed in there on 14, and I think that's going to hold it well enough. I kind of gave it a couple yanks and it seemed pretty fine. So now I just got to remove the blue thing from over here and put can high into terminal number 6. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, let me just strip this a little bit more. These tiny little wires are kind of scary. Alright, so now just get yourself a thin screwdriver type tool, and what I found I had to do is kind of dig in there at these tabs here and pry it basically away from the blue thing and the blue thing up at the same time. Hopefully. Okay, I got that one. Now, there we go. Just pull that out. And now pin 6 is this one right here. So if you look down in there, you'll see the little connectors there. And if you just, what I did was I just take this thing and made a little bend in the tip like that, and when I got it in there with the other side, I just put the blue thing down in there and it kind of clamped everything in place, sort of. I think that was it. Okay, let me reconnect the battery and then test this thing and see if that was even it. Alright, got the battery connected, the lights are turned on. Let's see what happens when you turn the key on. Last time it was flashing red, which I don't know if that just means it's not plugged up or plugged in or what, but okay, it's not flashing red anymore. I think it might actually be working. I don't know if this engine is okay to start up right now, so I'm not going to test the actual pressure, but I'm going to call that oil pressure gauge installed. So time to move on to getting the sensor installed on the wideband and getting it plugged in and all that and see what happens. So there's a sensor that comes with the AEM. Got anti-seize on it already. Try to get it in there without touching the sides like a game of Operation. So we're gonna have to, I guess, wind this thing up a lot, because there's the connector right there. I think you can see that. Maybe not. It's just right here. So quite a lot of room for this thing. Now I need to go ahead and zip tie all this wiring, this factory O2 extension, the master or slave remote bleeder. Just kind of get all this stuff zip tied in place so it doesn't want to go anywhere once I actually start driving this thing. This doesn't look like the prettiest thing in the world, but as long as no wires melt or hang way down and start dragging and stuff like that, I'll probably be pretty happy with the way it is. Alright, so there's that grommet for where the wideband harness goes through the body into the interior, and I need to get that back in place. So I'm going to have to get it up in there and then probably grab it with some needle nose pliers and then pull the lip of it around that hole so that it actually seals. And so I'm going to attempt to do that. I might block your view, I might block the light. I don't know how this clip's going to go, but I'll at least show you this right now and then what it looks like after I get it done. I can even, I mean, I'm going to be doing this by feel anyway, probably. Did I just get really, really lucky and get it in like 2 seconds? It doesn't seem right with this car. Now I guess the only thing I need to do is tidy up all the wires under the dash and go ahead and get all the trim panels put back on. Alright, I don't really like how this wire is just hanging there, but I am going to have to tidy up a lot of this stuff for the wideband anyway, so at some point I'll get up under here and get all that zip tied up and nice and everything, but just to wrap this thing up. Alright, so when I put this panel up in place here, it seems like there's going to be a little area back here where I can put a lot of this wire. It's like this big wound up thing here. Maybe I can get it right up in there. Maybe. I don't know. That's something I'm going to toy around with and see if I can, maybe right there. I don't know. So that's what I'm going to try to do with all that excess wiring. And then I still have to suspend that somewhere, which is the can high and low for the Speedhut gauge. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. Oh yeah, that should be perfect. Okay, this goes like this. I went ahead and zip tied it right there to the OBD connector so that if anything tugs on this wire, it'll tug back here instead of where they were stuck in there like that. And so I still want to secure those a little bit more. I don't think this one's that big a deal yet, but okay. So I think that's tidied up enough for me. So Just get this up into place. I think it was about something like that ish. That looks pretty good. I like that. I guess I didn't really know how this thing goes on there. So there's a little peg up there, and this slides, if I can get it to do it, onto it. So, see that? How that slides on there like that. And then this one over here, it just clicks on there. Then you lift the whole thing up until these engage into those slots. And that's it. There you have it. I'm pretty sure the interior is all wrapped up now. So that's it. Speedhut Mavman gauge and AEM wideband. Doesn't really look as good as I thought it would, but what are you gonna do? The AEM gauge, that's how it looks, and that's the one I wanted, so